Hey everyone, welcome back to Pick Six, the NFL betting preview show out of the Full Football Podcast. Week 17 now of the regular season. It's nearly done. Sad times, but we have, 24 more picks to give over the course of the regular season. 12 more today. This is somewhat of an emergency pod I'm sneaking in just because Liam's not here, but I felt like I wanted to get one out anyway. Hoping everyone had a very Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate around this time of year. Hope it was great and the time we spent with your family. And without further ado, I will get into this week's picks. I'll obviously start with my own and then read out Liam's at the end. Starting off with a play that I made last week, and it was my play of the week last week, and it will be my play of the week again. Lions -3.5 against the San Francisco 49ers. I was riding the Bills for a lot of this year as sort of my wagon team, but they didn't fall off, but they became more difficult to back because the lines were getting a little bit crazy. But the Lions are my new wagon. This is a 49ers team that is probably mentally in Cancun right now. And yes, their record versus this Lions team, or the Lions in general, is very good. But this is a totally different Lions team to what we've seen in the last 8 to 10 years. 3.5 really shouldn't be too much of an issue. Obviously, Lions very much still in the race for the one seed. They could get a massive favour done from the Cowboys this week. It looks like Jalen Hurts will not be playing. 49ers on the beach, nothing to play for. They've got a fair share of injury concerns. Obviously, the Lions, their injury concerns are extremely well documented, but they've got it all to play for, all in front of them. I don't think 3.5 will be all that difficult for them, so taking them 3.5. At 20 to 21. Pick number two, New England Patriots versus Los Angeles Chargers, taking the under of 42.5 here. Chargers away games in general this year have been extremely low scoring. In fact, not a single away game has gone over 40 points. And I don't think this Patriots offense is really going to cause too much concern for this Chargers defense. They're coming off, obviously, the big win over Denver, and the playoff race is sort of nearing a conclusion now, but I do think there'll be in a bit of a close one here, maybe sort of 4 to 7 points, that sort of 1 to 6 range, possibly close to a field goal and a touchdown, but I really can't see there being many points at all. The New England O-line has just sort of been a little bit worse, worse for wear, I think is putting it politely. Drake May's been managing with the weapons in that situation, so yeah, this is the kind of game I think Los Angeles will sort of just dominate from start to finish. Maybe even like 23-10, 23-14 sort of range. I don't see there being anywhere near the 42.5. So very happy to take the under there. Final pick from the game props. I'm going to take Green Bay money line. Somewhat of a punt here because this is obviously a massive game between two very good teams. Green Bay have won 5 of their last 6 away. Vikings very good at home, won 7 out of 8 this year, but I just am leaning the Packers. The form Josh Jacobs is in, and the Vikings do give up a lot of yards to wide receivers. So Green Bay's play action really could open up a lot of opportunities here. It's probably going to come down to whoever turns over the ball less. Jordan Love has had his fair share of turnovers, as has Sam Darnold. They've sort of been weirdly statistically fairly similar this year. And I just about lean Green Bay. I'm not sure what the price is on winning by 1 to 6 for Green Bay. I will just look at that quickly. But that's definitely something I would look at. But yeah, it's a pick 'em game. I mean, it's the definition of. In fact, they are now +1, and they were -1 when I was looking, not even 5 minutes ago. So there you go. That's how quickly it changes. Just see if I can find that price quickly. It doesn't look like I'll be able to, so I'm not going to sit here looking for too long. But yeah, I think I do think Green Bay probably just has this one under the belt. I do think they are just slightly the better team. Jordan Love's the better quarterback. Injury reports are not looking great for the game for the Packers, but they should get a lot of these guys back. There's obviously people on IR who are not going to be coming back, but we'll see. We'll see. I do just about lean with the Packers though, just a bit more trust in the coach, although Kevin O'Connell is fantastic. So looking for them to get it done. Player props. This guy knocked me out of my fantasy matchup last week. It's Chuba Hubbard, but I'm fading him this week. He's going up against a Tampa Bay rush defense that has given up just one 70-yard rusher since week 10, and he only had 43 yards on 12 carries in the reverse fixture earlier this year. I'd love to talk about game scripts because it is just sort of typically the way they go, but Panthers are 8-point underdogs here. I just can't really see any sort of script which involves Carolina running a lot of the football. I think Bryce Young's going to be throwing it at least 30, 35 times. Since week 11, the Buccaneers have the best EPA per play rushing defense in the league. Um, his line is 72.5. We'll be taking the under. Just sort of feels like 15 to 20 too many. Next up, another guy that we faded recently, his rushing total, taking Devon Achane 100 plus scrimmage yards at 20 to 23. He is not the best on the ground, but he is getting an insane amount of targets and receptions. So it's becoming very difficult to turn down only 100 yards because he could probably get at least 60, 70 through the air. And then he's going to probably get at least 40 from the carries that he averages. Dolphins top five in passing offense EPA, and the Browns are well below average in their passing defense EPA. I just can't see a scenario where the Browns sustain long drives. They have a lot of plays per game, sorry, but they do not make a lot out of them. Don't score enough points. DTR is pretty horrendous. I think we've seen enough from him already. Yeah, Devon Achane averaging 8 targets per game since week 12, has 50 carries in that time. He's going to get the ball a ton, so this is a real potential eruption spot for him. And the Dolphins are 6.5-point favorites, so wouldn't be surprised to see him running the ball a lot towards the end. Finish off my picks then. Haven't bet on this guy all season, which is very, very strange because he's having a great year. Brock Bowers taking the receptions over here, 6.5. It is even, so we're getting plus money. The Raiders have very little to play for, but Bowers is having an exceptional rookie season, various records and accolades in his sights. And they're up against the Saints team who are pretty much also on the beach. But since their week 10 bye, Bowers is averaging 10 targets per game, which is just an insane amount. He gets a lot of those underneath as well, where they look to get him yards after the catch. He's their best player on offense, probably their best player, full stop, now that Crosby's on IR. Get him the ball, good things will happen, even whether Raiders fans want it to or not, because I know a lot of them are pining for a higher pick so they can draft their new quarterback. But the Saints' pass defense is, to be fair, it is a lot better than their rush defense. But another stat that I am taking a lot of note of is neutral pass rate, which is how much you pass on first and second down, not including 2-minute warnings. And theirs is above 50%, so they're throwing it more than they don't. Yeah, this just feels like a good spot, and we're getting plus money. Brock Bowers, I believe he needs 5 to beat the record, and 15 for, I think, the tight end record. That I could have completely made that up, but I believe those are close to what he requires. But yeah, Brock Bowers over 6.5 receptions. Don't think it'll be too difficult. I'll read mine out again quickly, and then I'll go through Liam's to finish off. Player of the week, Lions -3.5 against the 49ers. New England versus Los Angeles Chargers under 42.5. Green Bay on the money line. Chuba Hubbard under 72.5 rushing yards. Devon Achane 100 plus scrimmage yards, and Brock Bowers over 6.5 receptions. I'm just looking at what this record is. 'Cause, yeah, so he needs 10 receiving yards to beat the rookie record. And can I find it? Potentially not. I believe it is maybe just the. Oh, is it Puka's record? So he's got the rookie tight end record for catches. I think he needs 5 to beat Puka. Can't find it. But there's also Mike Ditka, who was playing in like the 70s, and he did it in less games, so maybe it's not as legit as it seems. Either way, let me go through Liam's quickly. Jacksonville versus Tennessee under 39. Colts minus a 7.5, which is play of the week. The Jets versus the Bills plus the 9.5. Josh Jacobs over 17.5 receiving yards. Terry McLaurin over 65.5 receiving yards. And Sam Darnold, my pick from last week, over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And there we have it. We will just quickly have a look at TNF. I cannot even remember what day it is at the moment. So TNF just feels like an absolute eternity away. I don't think there's even, is there even TNF or are all the games on the weekend? I think all the games are on the weekend, to be honest. So we will just leave it there. Very quick fire pod. Apologies for how rushed it was, but just wanted to get the one out there just with the picks. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Enjoy your New Year's and stay safe and catch you in the next one.